Welcome back, Pom Pom fam. You may have noticed recently that raw food diet for dogs has been a popular topic when it comes to dog nutrition. But there have been a lot of misleading information and even different ways of feeding raw food to your dogs. For example, 3 feeding models that we can touch on today is the PMR model, which stands for Pray Model Raw. There's the Barf model, which stands for Biologically Appropriate Raw Food. And then there's the RMF model, which stands for Rotational Model Feeding. And by the end of the video, you'll be able to identify which model is the best choice for your dogs. Remember to subscribe for more Knowledge Bomb videos. And everything stated is through research, so nothing's really coming from me until the very end, where I share my experience with you from all of these models. The best way to examine how appropriate and nutritionally fulfilling these diets are is by looking at what wolves actually eat, because wolves are scavengers and they have the same physiology. By modeling the wild, we can increase our dog's chances of living a healthy and pain-free life with less vet visits. Information about wolves can be found in the most up-to-date book on wolf's lifestyle, named Wolves' Behavior, Ecology, and Conservation by David Meck and Luigi Bottani. Am I saying it right? I'm not sure. The link will be in the description below, so remember to just refer to the description for any resources that I mentioned in this video. So let's begin with the 3 major points of a wolf's diet. Studies have shown that, first, wolves eat prey as their primary food, ranging from prey as small as 2 pounds to 2,200 pounds. They used to have a variety of prey to choose from. However, due to human activities, prey variation dropped from about 6 choices down to about 2 or 3. This means that they usually have one main prey to hunt and a secondary meat source if necessary, depending on location and season. An example is wolves who reside in Canada's eastern region are supported by moose and white-tailed deer. And wolves are not likely to be nutrient deficient if they consume a whole prey. The second point is that they go long periods without meat. So wolves' bodies store surplus food energy as fat. At least 15% of a wolf's weight can be composed of fat, which is a conservative estimate. Like many carnivores, wolves are usually food limited, therefore they have an ability to survive long periods with low food consumption. Scientists have observed wolves going for weeks in winter without killing a moose on Isle Royale, or Isle Royale. Not sure how to pronounce that, but you get the point. Although dogs and wolves lose weight daily with no food consumption, it's still easy for them to gain back their weight in as little as a few days. So it's highly possible for a wolf who is 110 pounds, composed of 15% body fat, to fast up to 67 days before losing all of its fat. The variation in days fasted for wolves may vary depending on their health, the season, and so on. And in addition, wolves have the ability to adapt to low protein intake by altering their enzyme system, which allows them to go longer without food when necessary. And the last point is that they are opportunistic scavengers and consume fruits and berries in between meat meals. Wolves obtain most of their food from prey, but they are not exclusive meat eaters like most hypercarnivores, especially cats. Because of greater availability of fruits, wolves in the southern portions of Eurasia may feed on plant material more extensively than those in North America. Studies have shown that it is common to find remnants of digested seeds from different kinds of berries in their feces. Common fruits found in wolf's poop can be cherries, berries, apples, figs, plums, watermelon, and melon, which are all found in examining their feces. So by looking at these 3 main points about wolf's diet, we can determine which feeding model will work best and compare them all at the end. So let's just dig in, and we'll start off with Prey Model Raw. Prey Model Raw is a diet that is based on whole meat cuts, blood, organs, connective tissue, bones, and everything fleshy of the prey animal. So yes, it is a diet that consists of eating only prey animals and not much of anything else. This diet suggests different cuts from a variety of different animals or whole prey in order to fulfill all the nutritional requirements for a dog's body. And this model focuses on whole foods instead of grounded food in order for dogs to, just chew on bones and gnaw on the bones, because in the wild, wolves usually don't have anyone grind up meat for them. Organs are a necessary part of the prey model raw diet, which suggests that organs should make up about 10% of the diet, 5% liver, and 5% other organs. Different organs from different prey animals would work best, as this model would suggest. Organs include anything that secretes or is kind of like squishy. So something like liver or kidney, pancreas, brain, etc. would be considered an organ. This model suggests eating meat daily and multiple times a day is recommended for puppies. As for vegetables and fruits, this model doesn't include these products because this model suggests it's not mandatory to keep them healthy since their jaws and molars are shaped to grind meat instead of vegetation. The PMR model suggests that balancing their diet is not a big deal because most days, wolves won't be eating bones and organs at every meal. And this is because dogs stored nutrients from the body to make up for the lack of vitamin and minerals that is needed for certain days or period. So now that we know more about this diet, we can compare this diet to the 3 main points that we mentioned earlier for a wolf's diet. So does this diet include raw meat? Yes. Fasting period? No, this doesn't include it. And fruits and berries between meals? No, it also doesn't include that. This model is basically fully raw meat, bones, and organs only. Alright, so let's move on to the Barf diet. This diet includes muscle meat, raw bones, organs, vegetables and fruits, and supplements. It seems like the Barf diet includes literally everything to make a perfect and balanced meal for your dogs, right? For the Barf diet, whole prey meat, bones, and providing large amounts of natural glucosamine, chondroitin, and calcium for your dogs is really important. In addition, embedded proteins and fat and meat and bones enhance the immune system and promote longevity for wolves. Vegetables are considered an important part of this diet because of carbohydrates and fibers to create a healthy digestive tract and help with food absorption. Dogs don't have the ability to break down vegetables, so it's recommended that the vegetables be pureed in order for dogs' body to properly absorb it. So an example of what a meal would look like for the Barf diet is 80% amino ingredients, which would be like 50% muscle, 20% rumen, 15% offal, 15% bone, and then the other portion would be 20% vegetable fruit. Though I see more vegetables than fruits in most Barf recipe books. You better grab a measuring scale and calculator before getting started. There's a lot of consideration to be made when following the Barf diet because it can get much more complex. So now that we know more about this diet, we can compare it to the 3 main points that we mentioned in the wolf's diet. So does this diet include raw meat? Yes, it does. Does it include a fast day? No, it doesn't. Fruit and berries between meals? Sort of, not necessarily between meals, but included with the meals. And last but not least, the RMF diet, the rotational mono-feeding diet. So the rotational mono-feeding diet is also based on studies done on wolves. The rotational mono-feeding diet is a diet that aims to replicate the same diet as wolves, but with a twist of also observing how this diet works in domesticated dogs. It's a rotation that involves feeding raw meat, organs, and bones on some days, plant-based meals on other days, and a fasting day or period may be included as well depending on the dog's health and the situation. This diet came to be because it is a healing diet for dogs, especially during a time when dog food have been completely altered to be unfit and nutritiously unfulfilling for a dog's body. And yes, I'm talking about kibble and other forms of food produced by the animal food industry. The rotational mono-feeding diet is not a vegan, PMR, or Barf diet. It's a diet that allows dogs' body to self-heal and self-regenerate by building its immune system, expelling loads of toxin, which is the cause of most, if not all, diseases and illnesses, and allowing the body to rest. And meat is an important part of the RMF diet because dogs need the necessary nutrients from different body parts of a prey to maintain its physical body. And RMF recommends whole prey, which includes all the nutrients in one meal like the organs, flesh, muscles, and bones. Plant days are also called fruit days, which consists of only eating fruits or plant or seeds for that day. So there's no raw meat. Fruits such as berries, mangoes, watermelons, melons, etc. are an essential part of the healing process because hydrating fruits pushes out the toxin. and these days require less emphasis on digestion and more emphasis on expelling toxins. Some people include cooked sweet potato in quinoa. Quinoa is actually a seed, not a grain. So they usually mix sweet potato and quinoa as a meal because cooked sweet potatoes or yams have similar composition as fruits, and they're a great transition food. These days are mainly fruits, not much vegetables, if any at all, due to the fact that vegetables have a more complex composition, which makes it harder for dogs to digest and break it down. Fast days may be included depending on the situation and health of the dog. And then a fast day would consist of only drinking water and nothing else. RMF doesn't focus on a balanced diet for every meal, it just focuses on a diet that's healing for dogs' bodies. Like mentioned before, wolves do not eat a balanced diet every meal, therefore we can say that the same goes for our dogs. So now that we know more about this diet, we can match it up and compare it with the 3 main points in a wolf's diet. Does it include raw meat? Yes. Does it include a fast day or period? Yes, especially in adults, not necessarily puppies. Does it include plant fruit between meals? Yes, it does. So it does have a check mark for all 3 that would be the main point in a wolf's diet. So I mentioned earlier that I would share with you my experience when I was feeding my dogs all 3 of these diets, because I did try all 3. So I started with the Barf diet, then switched to the PMR diet, then switched to the RMF diet. So there's a lot to be said, but I'll just make it as simple as possible. I can say that the RMF diet has been the diet that changed the course of my dog's health and allowed them to self-heal and regenerate with no supplements, medications, and so on. I've joined many groups related to the Barf and PMR diets, especially on Facebook. Most will recommend feeding more meat, adding more supplements, buying homeopathic remedies, and so on to cure illnesses, diseases, or symptoms, which didn't really help much at all. I felt like my dog was literally eating powder and supplements instead of eating real food, because there was just so much remedies that these groups were recommending, the members and the admins, and like especially when my dog has like a simple cough or a broken pinky or a yeast infection, there was just a lot of like medication, like not medication, but more of like homeopathic remedies and supplements to be taking. However, since switching to the RMF diet, I've seen an improvement in many areas of my dog's health, including an increase in appetite, reduction in tear stains, poop texture and consistency, energy level, their coat texture, injuries, and more without the need of supplements, vet visits, or medications. This model doesn't only look at what works for wolves, but it also focuses on our modern society and the way it impacts domesticated dogs. So not only is feeding meat daily putting strain and emphasis on constant digestion for our dogs, it also makes them sick, because really wild wolves, they don't eat meat every single meal or every single day. And as we study wolves and their lifestyle, we sometimes forget that our domesticated dogs' lifestyle are not the same as wolves. Our dogs do not travel up to 26 miles a day or get even 1/3 exercise as much as their wild ancestors. While wolves are busy traveling and hunting most of the day, our dogs are sleeping and having about 2 to 5 hours of playtime, if even that. So too much meat and fat and not enough exercise equals diseases. We should replicate our dogs' ancestors' diet as much as possible without neglecting the lifestyle of our dogs as well. So by adjusting slightly, we can improve our dog's health and longevity. And yes, guys, that's just basically my experience, and I hope that it helped you out. I hope that you gain more knowledge from this video, and if you enjoy these type of videos, remember to click subscribe, like, and comment your thoughts on these diets and if you tried them. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. And next week's video is going to be about what they eat in a week, so we're going to record their food intake. So subscribe and stay tuned for that, and we'll see you guys next time. And the Pom Pom Bros love you.